morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today is Thursday. What is today? The 3rd? I don't care what date it is. But anyway, today's Thursday, September the 4th. Hey, what's coming this weekend? We anticipate. Okay, we gonna get into the verse of the day first. We anticipate faith, hope, and the things that's going on today. It's testing, it's trying faith, for sure. I mean, it's part of life. It's just going to happen. It just depends on how you are rooted, really. What do you believe in? What's in your concrete mix? Because it's the foundation. A lot of people have built foundations on sloppy ground, sandy ground, muddy ground, built houses off the cliff, and you don't think it's going to fall off one day. It's just a lot of stuff that we do as human beings that's not productive. And at the time, we believe it's productive, but then later on in life, we find out, like, man, if I'd have spent more time X, Y, Z. But then that's life, though. We say, if I'd known what I know now back then, I wouldn't have. Yes, you would. Because we're constantly learning. You're not going to know it all, okay? So I know we say that if I know now if I'd known it back then, nah, that ain't gonna help you either. Because it still would have been an area in your life you would have kept saying that. So by faith we operate and put the whole armor on. Don't look back. The enemy can keep you looking back because of your past. Holy Spirit led and fed. No one should be telling another person that they can't repent from something during this grace. We can't. That's why I said I had to be corrected on that as well. If I be a God-fearing man, I wouldn't be a God-fearing individual if I just kept telling people that, and then God kept trying to show me the real answer. Verse of the day. Got to be humble too. Humble yourself as well. Got to be. Rejoice not in iniquity. 1 Corinthians 13, 6 through 7. But rejoice in the truth. Can you do that? Bear all things. Believe all things. Hope all things. Endure all things. Paul is talking to the church of Corinth, which is a Greek church in Athens. Yeah, studying where the books were. That's going to be the next study too. I have a reference Bible at home. It's a King James. And some of you guys may have. And at the beginning of every chapter, there is a about. You know how you have about when you have a website, you click on about or about us. Well, at the top of every chapter, it goes into telling you. It's really historic. I like that. I might replace it with the one I got. It's still King James, but it's a reference. So sometimes you can, like, we look at Corinthians, we look at Titus, we look at Timothy, you look at John, you look at John 1, 2, 3. This reference book, if you guys got one, it's one of the best King James reference Bibles that you can get, because at the top of every chapter, it tells you everything you need to know. It's like giving you a history of the chapter you're about to read and who wrote it and what time and all. Those are some of the best Bibles to use if you have one. Okay. I got one. I need to start reading out of it for you guys in your hearing a little bit more. So let's open this up. 1 Corinthians 13 and 67. 6 and 7, 67. Okay. But let's go back up to verse 5. Okay. Because I like those. But again, when you do the verse of the day, and then Holy Spirit can have you dive into the whole chapter. You never know. Okay. It might be something in there that you need to read. Let's go back up to 5. It says, does not behave itself unseemingly, seeketh not her own, It is not easily provoked, thinketh no evil. Oh, that's not good enough. So we got to go back up to 4. Charity suffers long. Charity suffers long and is kind. Charity inveileth not. Charity vaunteth not itself. It's not puffed up. It is better to give than it is to receive. That's what it says. And then it says, so now you get an understanding of verse 5. And it said, it does not behave itself unseemingly. We're talking about charity. Seek not her own. Charity doesn't seek her own. And charity is not easily provoked. Thinketh, and charity don't think evil. Okay? So, most of the time when you do these verses of the day, now, we just did 4 and 5, but it says, rejoice not in iniquity, but rejoice in truth. Bear all things, believe all things, hope all things, endure all things. So wait. Now, this is the reason why I say we got a better understanding of 6 and 7. Who is the topic? Who is the subject? It's charity. So 6 and 70. So we know charity says, charity is rejoices not in iniquity, but rejoice in the truth. Charity. Bear all things, believe all things, hope all things. Those commas in there, I know I'm blowing through them. And I say not to do that, but we get a recap. Hope all things, endure all things. Verse 8. Charity never fail, but whether there be prophecies, they shall fail. Whether there be tongues, they shall cease. Where there be knowledge, it shall vanish away. But charity is saying it does none of these things. So let me ask you guys a question, because this is a good topic. We're talking about charity. Jesus said the poor shall always be among us. When you're at the red light and you see people and they have signs, does your heart go into, nope, because you might have a crib somewhere and you might have all this. I seen all that. I ain't doing nothing. But that's a test on us. Is it true you give to charity and people? I've seen people so emboldened now that they'll have signs out here in Detroit and other places. They're just being bold. Why lie? The guy had a sign. Why lie? I need weed. Can you help me? And people was giving him money. Why? Because he was telling the truth on his sign. Because in the back of your mind, when you're sitting there at that red light, or you're pumping gas, or wherever you are, is there a pull on you to give? Because if you want to talk the church, the 501, they always want to pump tithes, offerings, and gifts, but it's to their profits, not their profits, but it goes to their profits. Profit. And I used to have, well, Brother Williams, well, deacon, well, minister, you ain't gave because the church ain't doing the right thing. That's why I ain't gave. I ain't seen no promise. How we giving this money and you still hollering the church is struggling? Where's this money going to? We know that you're gainfully employed. So what? That's my money. Well, God ain't gonna bless you. How you say I'm not blessed because I ain't giving to your pocket? I woke up this morning, didn't I? I'm standing in front of you, ain't I? These are the reasons why I got out of that 501. Because they want to use charity as a yoke around your neck. You got to give, you got to give, you got to give. But I don't see no changes up in here. Where? Where the changes at? You got to give, you got to give, you got to give. But then when these same people, charity to the church, to the 501, and now you done gave all this money all year long and you in a straight now, you in a pinch and you need a little extra. You go back to the church who you gave all your money to. We ain't got no money. We can't do that. That's not how the church, that's not the church, folks. That's not. If there were people in the days of Christ walking in his ministry and people were in need, it was given. And there wasn't no 501 garbage back then either. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part, but when that which is perfect is come, talking about Jesus, then that which is in part shall be done away with. Again, a lot of folks want to claim the done away with, because there's no understanding that when he fulfilled his mission, a lot of things were done away with. We were under new covenant. When I was a child, oh, this is my favorite verse right here, baby. When I was a child, I spake as a child. I'm going to end the video on this one. Number 11, chaos, disorder, and judgment. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a full-blown man with them extra long toenails, and you got a hole in your sock because you ain't trimming, when I became one of them with bear claws, I became a man. I put away childish things. My brother still all day, every day on that Xbox, on that game, and your family's struggling. Okay, if that's what you want to do in life, then find a way to get paid to play that game. If you know, some of us grow out of things. We just don't do those things no more. It don't appease me. I'd rather be out hustling, making money. If I ain't reading the word and bringing people to Christ on the video, the game thing is raps. Some people have not matured out of that. And again, I'm not gonna hate like, okay, there's nothing wrong with you having a little fun, but if that thing is occupying all your time and you can't find nothing else to do, then we ain't became a man yet. And I'm talking to the men. We need to step it up as men. For so long, women have been doing everything while the man ain't been doing jack. Nothing. And I get the system, folks. It has broke families down. That's what the government truly wants. They want to take your children, remove the man from the home, which they have successfully done with these welfare programs, and super uneducated on purpose school districts, so that we can continue to pump your young men into jail and they daddies if we don't turn them into drug dealers or dope fiends. And now we got a bunch of women out here who have now canceled out the man, and it's been ingrained in women now that they don't need a man. That is so out of pocket and so out of order, out of God's order. That's satanic as well. The way they run our judicial system, our educational system, the way they run our families and our neighborhoods and our cities and states, all these laws that they're passing to think to change the time and the law. But as men, are we stepping up? Are we doing what we got to do? Because at the end of the day, if the good man had been watching, he would have known in what hour to watch when the thief came, and he would not have suffered his house to be broken up. Families are broken up all over, but mainly here in the United States of Shamerica. There is no father in the home like that no more. Back in the day, I'm 53. Back in the day, you had mother and father in home. And some kind of way throughout, I would say in the 80s when drugs came in, all of this is connected. You brought all them drugs back from all these little silly little wars you had, and then you infested our neighborhoods with drugs and killed off all our men, turned them into dope fiends and drug dealers, and then you lock them up, okay? And I'm not on color, because it ain't just black men. It's all men. We have been attacked. The families have been attacked. Our charity is not there with our family. Charity means we're going to be giving our time. We got to start raising our children. But now we don't do that. Now that's given to the governments now. They come in and they the fathers, they the pappies, they the papaws. And the women just happily take the money from the government and take that assistance. And we're just rearing up. Look at the rearing up of children in Chicago. It has been a systematic plan to give charity and call it welfare. Destroyed families, folks. Destroyed. And these democrats, these governmental systems, and you can say repubs too, they have been a part of this problem, folks, for decades. We've removed God out of schools. We removed prayer out of schools in the morning. When I was little, when I was coming up, you prayed before. Let's remove all of that. Let's bring in institutions. Let's bring in WIC. Let's bring in, don't get me wrong, all of these things are good because they do need them. But if you would have left the man alone and let him stay at home and raise his fam and been a husband to his wife and a father to his little nappy-head son, he ain't running around here shooting up everybody in Chicago. The daughters got their legs open for every little dingy little boy who ain't been raised by a dude. And this is where we are today. Ignorance rearing up ignorance. Charity in this verse of today is called welfare today. And welfare has destroyed the family. Welfare has allowed boys not to become men. Because now all you want is a handout. Men, we got to step up in these final hours. Got to do more. I've heard from men on these channels. It's so hard. Should no man say it's hard. No man should. If your feet both, and I know people, I know dudes who only got one leg and they out here still doing their thing. How you got all your limbs and you lazy as tarnations? Don't want to get up and do nothing. This is the reason why the world is in the way it's in the trouble that it's in now, folks. Men have been destroyed. When I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. And I'm still a child at 45, 35, 29 years old, 50 years old. I'm still a child. You never became a man and never put away childish things. Let's keep going. Verse 12. For now we see through a glass, comma, darkly. It's hard to see through that glass, right? But then face to face, now I know in part, but then shall I know even as also I am known. And now abide in faith, hope, charity, not welfare, because a lot of people on welfare right now with God, and they think they're going to sell their houses and get and just sit and go sit in the woods and wait on the rapture. That's welfare. You've taken the word charity and we turn it into welfare. We want welfare from him, and you don't want to be an active servant. Now we're supposed to abide in faith, hope, charity, these three. But the greatest of these is charity. We're looking through a glass darkly. But then face to face, now I know in part. But then shall I know even as also I am known. Abide in those three things: hope, faith, and charity. Charity being the greater. Why? Because I give myself away so you can use. I give myself away. But we're not doing that, are we? I know when I was there, didn't nobody want to get up and go out in the street what we did. We only had a small group. Didn't nobody want to give their self away in charity. Jesus was the biggest charity of all, sent from the Most High. He gave. Charity come from God. God gave Christ in charity for us. And then you mean to tell me you can't get up and do anything for a person who gave his life in the ultimate, the greatest charity of all, and died and was resurrected on the third day by the Father which art in heaven, the greatest piece of charity? You mean to tell me you can't get up and show God some appreciation? Or are you still want to act like a child because you still don't understand and you still think as a child? Men. If men, godly men, helped other godly men, this is what I used to teach in my men's class in the building, and we reared up more godly men. If we hit the streets, if we was able to talk to these young folks and get them on their way and raise them up the right way, if we men did that. But it's unfortunate that we're not. Babies dying out here, y'all. Young men dying. Because as men, we have not given our charity to rear up young men. They ain't got to be none of your child. You can still be a father figure. You can still be a mentor to somebody. Even on your job. If we just drop the ego men, and men helping men, even if you were helping somebody who was not saved, don't you know the profit as the usury of that for the third servant, as the master told? I should have had usury if you went out, if you just got up and went to work. Charity, give your time. Do you know that means a lot to folks? Watching you up close but far away. If I see a bunch of men just doing nothing, and I'm confused and I'm a young man trying to figure out what I should be doing as a man, but all my examples of men is trash, what do you think it's rearing up? I was in line years ago, and all I heard from these young girls, if a man don't beat you, he don't love you. I had to, what? Hold up. What you just say? That's what my mama told me. No, girl, who told you that? That ain't love. But see, that's the problem. We got men who still act like children because there was no man that raised them. And so that affects the woman. It affects the family. Now what you have is women out here, young girls think, because you got rotten men out here, because we're not men, not raising men. Women can't raise a boy into a man. She got to go send him to, go to your father. Maybe he can teach you something. But if his father ain't about nothing, these are the times where it's critical we understand what God is trying to tell us today. Men need to give their time charity and to becoming examples for younger men. The young girls today are in a bad situation because the young men were not given the right education on how to treat a woman. So when you hear a conversation and you standing in the line and you hear the yappity yap yap yakety yak yappity bap bap, this generation is gone. It's gone. Anybody my age or older, we're the last of them. 40s, 50s, 60s, that's it. After that, it's wraps. What's coming behind this? The world is doomed. Y'all don't even know how to write in cursive anymore. You can't count an analog clock. You can't tell time. That's just digital. But that comes back to us as us being men, not giving our time. And we just push our children in front of the intranet and the ethernet, and we let that raise our children. I ain't talking about you mothers. I'm talking about the men, uncles, daddies, granddaddies, godly men. Oh, go on over there and leave me alone. Go on over there and bite your bit. Instead of saying, come here, let me see what you got. Let me show you. No, you're doing that wrong. No, stop. Stop. Go ahead. Okay, now go back. All right. What you mean you don't know how to put gas in it? You see the little gas symbol light? Turn that, right? Pour gas in it. Fill it up. Put the top back on it. Okay? Now pull the string. Now I want you to do the front and the back. And when you get through with that, get the leaf blower, get the yard trimmer, and get that, tighten that up. All right? You know, put that game down. Hey, what you doing? Now cut that game off. I need you to get out there and take care of your business. With the front and the back cut. No, clean up. Yep, all that. I want all that done. Then you can go back. So, men got to start being more enforcers. Because your young men, if they're not seeing any example from the pop, you ain't got to be living with your son. You still just need to be inputting. Inputting, folks. Charity. Think about that today on the day. Peace.